Very important right now for you to take 1 second and hit that like button. Help push us through the YouTube algorithm. And then it's also equally as important to pound on that bell notification, hit that bell notification and click all. That way you stay up to date on all my latest videos as the inflationary depression that I've been warning about. Opinions, because I am not a financial advisor. This is just my overall thesis of the market, right? And as we get into it now, you can see the XRP price is now sitting
Had that big 56-cent hit, and then it came down because it's in this blue trading area, the bottom part of this blue resistance box. See that? It goes from 50 cents, 50.5 cents, all the way up to 68.25 cents, right? That's your big resistance area. You can trade in there and get in there, but it likes to get sell-offs happening there. You can see sell-off 1, sell-off 2, sell-off 3, right? On 3 separate, distinct occasions, you have come up into there and got harshly rejected, right? If we look at our industry-exclusive measuring tool, nobody else has this in the business. Changed the game here with that measuring tool. See that? 24% down the first collapse down, right? The second time it came, it was a little bit less than 24%, and then the third time, you can see it was a 19.4%, right? 3 distinct crashes after you've nipped in here. But again, you've traded back up into there, and if you can get on top of this and hold it, get some kind of support there, you can theoretically make a push and a massive power play all the way up to 68 cents. We've been warning about that. Not really warning, but talking about it to let everybody know that is an outside distinct possibility that we must pay attention to and can't ignore every time it keeps holding support. But what I am noticing, if I zoom out to the 3-hour time frame, this is very important. Get your notepads out, and this is basic technical analysis. Take a little peek back there. Hold on. I'm maneuvering my vehicle through parking lot at Rivian, right? Going from plant back to our trailer back to plant. But our trailer is near the highway now, as they have systematically pushed us farther and farther away from the building, and then they pushed us outside the guard shack, which sucks because then you got to go through the guard shack every time. But the next stop, if they push us any farther away, as you can see what I'm talking about, we're way back here. The highway's right over there. You can see there's a farm silo over there. See that shit? All the farm crap is? There's a highway over there, the freeway, I-55. It's like I-94 in Detroit. It's I-55 down here. And they're pushing us closer and closer to the highway, right? So I don't know if they're trying to tell us something here. Like, hey, guys are almost the fuck gone. But as I digress, you can see as I park my vehicle, as I've had to vastly maneuver through the gravel pits to get back to camp trailer outside, just located outside Camp Rivian, within the greater Normal area in central Illinois, right? But now, here's what we were talking about. Enough of the bullshit, enough of the chatter. This is what you need to get your notepads out for. See the volume? Come on, pen. You're my industry exclusive drawing tool. Why aren't you working? Because the whole thing is blown up on itself. See that? See that, ladies and gentlemen? The whole thing has blown up on itself. Just like that poor little bunny rabbit. Blew up on itself. All right, let's see what we were talking about here. Let's get to the 2-hour time frame. It's enough of the shenanigans. My audience, you guys don't have time for shenanigans. There we go. See this volume? Get your notepads out. See that right there? See that orange inside the volume, right, the candles? That's the mean. Notice how the mean of the volume started to slowly uptrend over here, right before the pump. See that? It was way down, and then it started slowly uptrending, and the volume led the price. Very bullish for quite some time up here, right? When the volume leads price, volume trends up, price goes up, volume leading price. Now, ever since this point, where we had the peak of the volume, and you can see the peak right there in the track, the volume's been going down as the price has been trading sideways to up-ish. See that? It's kind of forming that sideways to up. That's the price not getting led by the volume. The volume's going down when the price is going sideways to up. oftentimes is bearish. We want to see the volume start to trickle up. Now you can see recently we've had a little bit of a trickle up on this last little push right there. So that is better bullishness there, as the volume has led the price a little bit, but it's still declining overall vastly. You can see what was going on over here with the wick, and then the mean of the volume was way up there. The base, it's about that far difference, right? So that's what we're looking at down there, and that's why this 50 cents is major resistance right now as it's coming back from underneath it. We'll see how it interacts with that. I'm getting sick of these nonsensical things popping up when I'm trying to do a video, so we're going to put it on sleep mode, so that should not happen now. You can see 50 cents is your major resistance. 68 cents is your major resistance at the top part of this purple major support resistance area, right? And if we zoom out to give you guys a broader look at what we're talking about, why this is a major support resistance area, I thought I had that. You can see it goes from the 50 cents right there. You can see why it's such a major support resistance and why we're using this. Look at resistance right there, resistance right there in 2021, major support on August of 2021, major support in December of 2021, major support, see that, in February of 2022, and then it broke it. And then it flipped it from major support, where it was resistance here, and it flipped it to support right there. Then when it crashed right here, it flipped it back to resistance. See that? Look at all the separate times. Resistance, support, then that's why we figured it would be major resistance on the way back up, because that's how price action works. And you can see kind of it's forming a massive head and shoulders topping reversal pattern. Or it already did and played out. There's actually even a bigger one in the daily time frame. But that gives you some of the insights to what I'm looking at, why this major box from 50 to 68 cents is a major area. Because it's been a major area on both sides. It's been major support and it's been major resistance. But if we break down from here and we can't get up above that 68 cents, eventually you're going to trade back down towards that 29 to 32 cent major volume indicator area, and you can see that's on the next level. And you can see when you're above it, you can see when you're above the major, when you're below the major, look at all the different times it's done this. This is just going to be an in-depth XRP video. You can see coin collapsed. Below the mean of the volume, resistance, 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 because it's coming from below it, it's going to act as resistance. Then it finally had a power pump, and then it flipped it. It was resistance back here, then it flipped it right here on January of 2018. Then it became support. Then we came back down in September of 18, support. Then we came back down January of 19, support. A whole slew of support in February, March, April, and May of 2019, support. Then it hit it again in August of 19 as support. Then it came below it, right? Flipped it to resistance. Then we hit it as resistance in September of 2019, right? Then if we go along another month later, we hit it again as resistance in January of 2020. Then we hit it again at resistance right here in February of 2020. Then we hit it again as resistance in September of 2020. See that? Resistance, resistance, resistance. Then we had support, 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 right? Then it flipped it again. So we went from resistance to support to resistance, and then we flipped it again right here to support in December of 2020. It got back below it real quick, hit it as resistance, and right here actually in February of 2021, pulled over it, flipped it to support now, and then we fast forward, we come back down to it a few months later, about a year later in July of 2022-ish to about May, support, 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 right? Now it's using it as support again. So that's why we were watching this major area up here and this major area down there, because we do know when it breaks this major area, there's going to be a big capitulation where the price just collapses down into this area and hits this 18 to 20 cent target that we have down here. And then I think eventually maybe even gets down here towards that 10 cent level, right? But that gives you a brief synopsis of how support and resistance